The guy who is supposedly for free speech and against safe spaces, against political correctness, against language policing, is refusing to visit the United Kingdom unless Prime Minister Theresa May can ensure Donald Trump that there will be no protests of his visit, or he is simply not going to go. Bloomberg is also reporting that when they spoke on the phone, Donald Trump complained to the Prime Minister of the UK, Theresa May, that there is negative coverage of him in the press. And Theresa May rightly said, yeah, that's how the UK media operates, and I'm not able to change that myself. And reportedly, the advisors who were listening on that phone call were, quote, astonished at what Donald Trump was saying to her. Can you even imagine this absurdity? Of course, she would never do it, but just imagine for a second that Theresa May announced, during Donald Trump's visit, protests will not be allowed, period. It would lead to the biggest protests in a very long time in the UK. Free speech is great for the US, I guess, according to Trump, but the UK needs to curtail it for Donald Trump's thin skin. And this is the sort of total lack of tact and common sense that Trump has. Even if you're Trump and you're thinking, really don't want protests, you don't say it because you sort of understand that peaceful protesting is a cherished aspect of Western democracies. But Trump just straight up says it because he has absolutely no understanding of the context into which he's making such a request. Have you ever seen a president this thin-skinned? And it's particularly funny because the committed Trumpists see Trump as a guy who's tough and he's not afraid to tell it like it is. And Trump himself has tried really hard to cultivate this view of him. Check out this interview. This was from right in the heat of the campaign with Jake Tapper, where he talked about how thick-skinned he actually is.
One of the things she said was, this is not someone who should have the nuclear codes. It's not hard to imagine Donald Trump leading us into war because someone got under his very thin skin. What's your response to that?
Well, first of all, I don't have thin skin. I have very strong, very thick skin. And when somebody's right about me, I always, if you do a report and it's not necessarily positive, but you're right, I never complain. I do complain when it's a lie or when it's wrong. But I have a strong temperament, and it's a very good temperament, and it's a very in-control temperament, or I wouldn't have built this unbelievable company. I wouldn't have built all of the things that I've been able to do in life. I've been #1 bestsellers.
He has the strongest, thickest skin.
Yeah.
I don't even know where to go. I was thinking about Obama, and when Obama would go overseas, he was greeted pretty favorably, right? You could disagree with Obama's policies, but objectively, he did resuscitate the reputation of the U.S. around the world. He would go to Germany. Sure. He would go to so many places people would come out and cheer Obama. And maybe Trump is aware of that. He's aware of a lot of the things Obama did. It seemed to be something of an obsession for him. And maybe that's part of this. He wants to be treated like Obama.
Well, it's weird to me because Trump has done plenty of state visits. He went to Saudi Arabia, he went to Israel and Germany and France, and he visited Duterte, his buddy, out in the Philippines.
And he was protested in a lot of those places.
Yeah, but I mean, does the UK really stand out too distinctly from the rest of those countries? I know they had a petition in that country of 1.8 million people signing on
to ban Trump
from coming.
I don't know.
Is it that different?
I don't know why it's so particular. It's particularly an obsession when it comes to the UK. I don't know the answer to that. Maybe part of it is Obama was the first U.S. president ever invited to make an address at Westminster Hall in the UK. And now you've got, like Pat said, nearly 2 million people who are trying to keep Trump out of the country, never mind at Westminster Hall. I don't know. I don't know what the answer is, but Trump clearly very, very triggered by the possibility of these protests. Special snowflake Trump, highly triggered.
It would be highly ironic, I would say, if the welcoming of the U.S. president was met with something that was completely un-American, which is a policy that you can't speak openly, you can't protest, right?
Which actually was sort of the situation when he went to Saudi Arabia. Like that's the place that, if you're looking for places where people will be banned from protesting you, it's usually not the countries that we try to aspire to be like in the United States. Today's program is sponsored in part by eHarmony. If you're trying online dating, there's a good chance that you've run into lazy text messages, dead-end conversations, random matches that just never turn into dates. And unlike many other online dating sites, eHarmony actually uses years of science, data, and psychological research in order to find you a more compatible match. And because eHarmony is built to help you find lasting, meaningful relationships, it's not one of those shallow hookup sites. And they've helped over 1 million people find their perfect match. And right now, David Pakman Show listeners and viewers can get a month of eHarmony for free when you sign up for a 3-month subscription. Just enter my code Pakman at checkout. Stop waiting. Start your journey to a satisfying, meaningful relationship. It can be fun to play around with online dating apps, but when you're ready for a meaningful relationship, there's one app that's built to bring you exactly that, and it's eHarmony. See how eHarmony can change your life. eHarmony.com. Enter my code Pakman at checkout, Pakman.